Hey guys, it's Al with techmadeezy, and you know what? It is about time we do a comparison of these two top brand rolling drawer boxes. The KLEIN MODBOX rolling drawer box and the Milwaukee PACKOUT rolling drawer box. Now in this video, it's going to be detailed. We're going to be covering weight, cost, the drawers, the warranty, the measurements, and honestly so much more. So why don't we go ahead and check this out? Let's get this party started. Hi, it's Al from techmadeezy with a real quick message. I just want to let you know the video you're about to watch is not sponsored. We went out and bought the products ourselves. So if you like our video, please give us a thumbs up. It definitely helps. Share our video. And lastly, we hope you subscribe to our channel and become a part of the family. Thank you. So here is an image of what we're going to cover in this video. Again, it's not going to be everything because we have so much more, but we're going to be comparing the drawers, the cost, the warranty, the weight, the material, the wheels, the handles, locking, right? IP rating, measurements, side handles, where are these made, by the way, and so much more. I'm going to start off, I'm just going to go over cost and model number and maybe just take a quick look with you because we're going to be taking a detailed look in a little while. Let's talk about cost. So for KLEIN, the rolling drawer box is $199 regular price at Lowe's. All right, and I'll put the part number on the screen for you. Now the 2-drawer is $149. And again, I'll put the part number up on the screen for you. And again, that's at Lowe's and other places. I'll have links in the video description if you want to pick these up. Now let's talk about PACKOUT. So the rolling drawer is $249 at Home Depot. And the 2-drawer is actually $156 at Home Depot. So there are your costs. And I'll go ahead and put the part numbers up for the Milwaukee 2-drawer and for the rolling drawer box. All right. As you can see, I've got some accessories on top. I'm going to be showing accessories. I'm going to actually just showcase kind of more of a tool holder for both of these guys because I want you to see, at the end of the day, could you put accessories on the side of the bottom box, the rolling box? So that's really going to be the goal because there are some things you can and can't do. But taking a quick look, you can see here, you get a pretty beefy handle. And again, we're going to cover this in more detail. All right, we'll talk about specs and sizes and measurements. All right, you see you get the rails on the boxes, right? As we go over to PACKOUT, you do get rails on the drawers up top. And there's no rail for the rolling drawer box. It actually has wheels. We'll talk about that. As you can see, you get a handle on the bottom rolling drawer box. And on the KLEIN, you don't get a handle. You get a spot where you can put your hand. So you can really grab this if you need to lift it. So they have that as well. But let's go ahead and dig in because there's a lot to cover. So let me just tell you, I'm going to go ahead and show you the dividers in the rolling drawer boxes. We are going to be focusing mostly on the rolling drawer boxes. Now, the reason I have these two boxes on top, you'll see later on, there are some reasons why I want to show you how the rolling drawer boxes act when you have a box on top. Let's start off with KLEIN. We have 2 drawers. So we've got a big drawer. It's got 2 dividers that are removable, giving you 4 sections. Later on, we'll cover measurements, external and internal for the whole, rolling box, as well as the drawers themselves. All right, there you go. And then you get this small drawer. As you can see, you've got 9 sections. And if I want, I can remove this and give myself maybe, 3 larger sections. So measurements coming up in a little while. Now, what about the PACKOUT? So 1 large drawer, right? There's your lock-in mechanism. You do have a spot for a lock. We'll talk about that later. But here you get a tray that you can use and put on, you know, any side. You know, actually really for the sides. You take that out. And then you get 2 large dividers. And then you get 6 small dividers. Now the large dividers, just so you'll know, can actually hold some of Milwaukee Packout's accessories. And you can put them on the inside of the box, etc. But good to know. But there you go. And again, measurements are coming up for the inside of the box and the overall box itself. But that's our quick look at dividers. I'm now going to cover specs. Keep in mind the cost and the model number were covered earlier if you need that. But now as I cover the specs, I'm going to stop in a lot of cases and actually show you stuff. So when I talk about the wheels, we're then going to take a look at the wheels. We're going to compare the wheels. So let's start off with the material of these 2 boxes. The MODBOX is made of an impact-resistant polymer. And the Packout is made of an impact-resistant material. It's a polypropylene is what that is. Now, let's talk about the weight capacity for a minute, because as you can see on the right you've got that large drawer, and on the left you've got 2 drawers, right? So the overall box capacity for both of these is 250 pounds. Now what does that mean? That means that the box itself can handle a total of 250 pounds. That means if you stack a 2-drawer box on top with tools and you put tools in the actual drawer, that the rolling box can handle 250 pounds overall. Now, let's talk about the drawers, right? Because the drawers have their own capacity. So the KLEIN, right? The small drawer can handle 20 pounds, and the large drawer can handle 50 pounds. Interesting, right? Now let's talk about Milwaukee. They stepped up the game, right? They only have 1 drawer. Obviously, you're going to have some good room in that 1 drawer, and that 1 drawer can handle 150 pounds. Is that something? That is pretty nice. Now I'm going to talk about the wheels, and then we're going to stop and show you the wheels. So KLEIN has 10-inch rubber wheels. The Packout has 9-inch what they call all-terrain wheels, and they're rubber as well, but they're kind of a little harder rubber. So let's take a moment, put them side by side, and take a look at the wheels. So here we are. We got 10-inch on the KLEIN, 9-inch on the Milwaukee. And you can see the way they designed the Milwaukee, there's really nothing that's going to get caught up in here. We did a part 2 video and we kind of rolled it on gravel and stuff like that. And it did a good job. You know, at the end of the day, it held the weight that we had in the box. So both of them have a really good design, and they're both structurally solid the way they're designed. And there's a reason why you've got all these nooks and crannies. You know, both of these boxes support 250 pounds in general. That's not the drawers, that's just the boxes, right? When you put stuff in the drawers, when you stack boxes on top, maximum 250 pounds. So there's a good look at the wheels. So this next section is interesting. I call it slides and no slides. Now, as you can see, the KLEIN has slides for their drawers, and the Packout doesn't. They actually have wheels on the bottom. They decided not to go with slides, which honestly, it works. It works. After testing, you don't want slides on this box. So let's take a quick look. So here's the KLEIN, and they have ball bearing slides. You know, like most companies that make drawers, and you know, they work, right? Again, this box is rated 50 pounds, so just be aware. And this is rated 20 pounds. Anything over that, these slides might fail, but these are made well. They do the job, right? They do the job. Now, what about the Packout? Why did they not go with slides? Well, let's take a look. So here we are with an interesting design by Milwaukee. Now, let me just tell you this, too. It is May 2025, and it's funny, well, it shouldn't be funny, but I don't know how some of these were made and they were missing the wheels. So, no, not those wheels. They were actually missing the wheels on the bottom. I'll show you those in a minute. We'll take a close look. So they had to return them and exchange them. I saw that. Steve showed me that in some of the Milwaukee rooms. But as you could see, no slides. And you've got 4 wheels down here. You've got 2 big ones, 2 small ones, and of course these still add to stability, right? You can't discount those. But you know, you couldn't really do slides in here because it just wouldn't really work. This box needs the flexibility of the wheels, and the wheels actually end up holding the weight. Don't forget, this is a 150-pound capacity. Now let me turn this on its side and show you the wheels so you can see what I'm talking about. So I put the box on its side. Now one thing you can see too is they've got a nice bar here for strength of the box. But here are your 2 big wheels. Now you're going to see Sunshine's dog here. Don't let that discourage you. But let me open the box and we'll pull this out for a minute. So you've got some real beefy, you know, just the way they're designed. These things, again, the draw holds 150 pounds. So they got 2 big ones up front, as you can see. And then you've got 2 that help roll it into the drawer. Right there and right there. All right, and then again, this will swing out. Now, some people say that this came out. Again, I've seen stuff online. I always make sure I do my research. Not many complain, but the bottom line is you're not going to have the box like this. You're going to have the box sitting, obviously, on the big wheels in the back. Pulling your drawer out and pushing it back in works great. I've used it. I'm very impressed. But that works. Those 4 wheels and the 2 in the back. And at the end of the day, this is what it's made for, right? Right now we have no weight in the box. I'm going to throw some tools in later on. But this thing is flawless. No issues whatsoever. It just really does a good job. I like the design. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about the handles, because there's definitely some different things going on. First of all, I'm going to lower myself here. You'll see the KLEIN slightly higher. Not by much. It is also a thicker handle. Does that matter? I'm not sure. But it is a thicker handle. This is thinner. This is thicker. So I would probably say this will be a little more durable. But again, you know, Packout's done their research, right? Milwaukee has done their research. You get a nice grip over here, underneath. Here, you get a grip all around. You get some more grip on the bottom. You get a hole. I think you could probably put pipe through here or whatever it is. I've never, again, I'm not a contractor, I'm a homeowner. Here, you also get a hole. Again, you can put a pipe through or whatever you need. Now, I want you to notice that the Packout doesn't have anything that the KLEIN has. So as you can see, the KLEIN gives you some holes while you're pulling your, obviously your load. You could put stuff in here. Now, the handle is also recessed back a good amount. I like that. Now, this handle is also recessed. And what we'll probably do is put the boxes on so you can see how much of a recess. But you do get a recess on here. But let me show you what you can use this for. I'll just give you some examples again, because you can put some pipes through here. You can put, levels through here. So I've got a pole, I've got a level, I've got a ruler, right? And then I can just take this with me and roll all my tools with me. So again, something that they thought of. So let's just look at the space a little bit, visually. If I tilt this back, I just feel like there's definitely a lot more room. If I threw another box on top, that I wouldn't get any knuckle rub as I'm pulling the box down the street or wherever, up the stairs, etc. So I think they did a good job with that. Milwaukee, again, smaller handle does the job. And I just feel like this is just a little closer. So if I did put another box on top, there is a chance I can get a little knuckle rub. But small chance. And I wish I had a third box to show you. So I think KLEIN left some good spacing when it came to the way they designed the handle recess. Let's go ahead and cover handle height open and then collapsed. So the KLEIN is 43 3/4 inches in height, fully open like it is now, and the PACKOUT is 43.5 inches in height. As you can see, it is just a drop shorter. Now let's go ahead and drop these, and then I'll give you the measurements with them collapsed. So you can see the handles are collapsed, and the KLEIN is 26 3/4 inches. And the Milwaukee is 19 3/4 inches. So big difference. Now, yes, you can remove the handle on the KLEIN, and then it obviously is a shorter box. Continuing on with handles. So the Milwaukee handle is not removable. It just drops down. Just hit the button here, and it will drop down to 19 3/4 inches. Total, as far as the height is concerned for the box itself. Now the Milwaukee, if you take off the handle, you're talking 17 inches. So as long as these are open, right, and we have it unlocked, you're going to need to tug this, because this thing really holds on tight. But we'll take this handle out for a second, put this aside, and then you can see the 17 versus the 19 3/4 inches, you know. And there's a really good look there. So, you know, KLEIN can definitely get smaller, lower in height. You just have to take the handle off. Let's talk about the measurements of the drawers themselves. We're going to start with the Milwaukee PACKOUT. So this drawer, and obviously it's so nice to have one large drawer, is 13 inches in depth, 16.5 inches in width. And then you get 16 inches in height. It's really, really nice to have this one big drawer. Now let's talk about the 2-drawer KLEIN. The small drawer is 12 3/4 in depth. It is 16 1/4 in width and 3 inches in height. Now let's take a look at the big drawer. Now I like about this big drawer too is it doesn't have any humps. You know, you thought when you pushed it in the back that it might have a hump. It doesn't. It's really good usable space. So this is 13 inches in depth, right? 16 1/4 inches in width, and your height is 9 1/4. So not bad. One thing I wanted to show you is the KLEIN does a little better job in full extension of the drawer. I want you to see that this drawer really, really comes out fully, giving you the full capacity of the drawer. Now the small one probably does the same, okay, mostly. But that bottom drawer, yeah, because you've got rings and stuff here. So that bottom drawer does a good job. Now, Milwaukee PACKOUT, it doesn't fully come out. It almost comes out. So as you could see here, I wish I could show you, but this is the edge of the drawer. And so you're not getting, full. You're getting most. Again, just showing you the little details. But it doesn't fully come out. This is as far as it goes, and it's pretty decent. Again, it is nice to have one big box. Let me give you some exterior measurements. We'll start off with KLEIN. Now we're going to do this with the handle removed. So the KLEIN is 20 3/4 inches in depth, 23.5 inches in width, and 17 inches in height with the handle removed. Now the PACKOUT is 19 1/4 inches in depth, 23 3/4 inches in width, and 19 3/4 inches in height. Let's talk about weight. This is a big one, very big difference, and no dividers inside, by the way, right? Dividers are removed. I'm going to show you a video with the KLEIN, and we are 42.14 pounds. Again, 42.14 pounds for the KLEIN. Now let's go ahead and show you the pack out. And again, no dividers. We are at 33.45 pounds. All right, that is almost a 10-pound difference. Concerning IP rating, both of these are not IP rated. All right, they have no seal around the drawer or anything. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's talk about two things. We're going to talk about warranty, and then we'll also talk about where these boxes are made. So they both have a limited lifetime warranty. That's pretty simple. Now they probably handle it in different ways, but they both have a limited lifetime warranty. Now let's talk about where they're made. So KLEIN MODBOX specifically is made in China. Now KLEIN tools mostly are made in the United States of America. But the MODBOX itself, even on the label when you get it, take a look at it in the upper right hand corner, you'll see. I'm going to show you an image, and that image will show made in China. Now Milwaukee PACKOUT. All right, Milwaukee PACKOUT is made in Israel. Now their label doesn't say that, but their website does. All right, so Milwaukee PACKOUT, Israel, and KLEIN MODBOX, China. Now let's just talk about the locking capabilities of these two boxes by themselves. So if I go over to the PACKOUT, you'll see here that I do have a slot for a lock. I wish this was steel reinforced, but it's not. And I can take a lock like this, slide it in, and lock it with no issue. Now, over here with MODBOX, they've got a couple things going on. Number one, they can support a cable. That means if you put multiple boxes, you can run a steel cable through all the boxes if you want. So that's pretty cool, and it is steel reinforced. The other thing they have is a bar that comes up, basically. If I can get it up, it sounds like a personal issue. I take this, and you'll see here now that I can take this lock, I can put it on here, I can lock it, and now this will not come out. If I take my lock out, push the ring in, this comes out, and it drops, and it's not in the way of the drawer. So that's pretty nice. Now, how do these two act when there's a box on top? Well, let's check that out. All right, I got boxes on top. I got my lock. Now, do I have to remove this to lock that? Well, first of all, I can run a cable. Remember I was telling you I can run a cable, so that's a nice feature. But I can take this lock and put it on there. Again, I can raise this bar. I can put it on here. And you can see here they made a space, so I don't have to remove the box. Let me show you Milwaukee PACKOUT. So here's Milwaukee PACKOUT. Now, with their drawers, they actually have a bar that goes up and locks here, and it gives me a hole here where I can put a lock. Now, again, I wish this was steel reinforced. It's not. No big deal. But I can lock this now. But can I lock the bottom lock without removing the two drawer? Nope. You have to remove the two drawer to actually lock the rolling box. As you can see, you're not going to get it in this way, and you're not going to get it in that way. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. So I actually have to remove the two drawer to lock the rolling. Now, what they could have done realistically is, why couldn't they have just made it right here? And maybe they'll redesign it so that that'll be possible. I just wanted to show you that. Now, I want to show you an example of accessories on these specific boxes. So if I wanted to put an accessory, in this case I'm using this tool holder accessory. I can put a tape measure in the front, I can remove the dividers, I can put screwdrivers in this. And it basically, you know, what happens is when it's on and latched on, you're really just squeezing this to remove it. Now, the way they design the side of their box, they've got this bar here that will allow you to put accessories on. So something like this will fit with no issue. You put it on, clicks in place. Again, grab that orange to remove, right? Just grab this to remove it. So goes on, no issues, doesn't get in the way of the wheel. All right, so that works. Now, I haven't seen anything where I could actually take the box itself and maybe take this and move it inside. I haven't seen anything. I don't know if they make anything like that. If they do, post a comment. But let's go ahead and take a look at Milwaukee. So this is the same tool that Milwaukee makes. Again, you know, tape measure goes on here. You've got dividers that are removable, right? Now the way this is configured at this point, this can actually go inside the box. And I'll show you how in a moment. But what they give you when you buy this is they give you 2 of these brackets and some screws and an Allen key. Now, I'll show you what happens with these, but basically they go on to the edges on each side, and then the tool snaps on. Well, let me go ahead and show you this so you could see this in the works. Now, before I attach these rails, I wanted to show you that you can just take this and you can actually put it inside the box. See these holes on the side? So you basically grab like so, and it is now locked in on the other side in all 4 places. I can put screwdrivers, whatever I want in here. Again, this can stay inside. Now to remove it, you just have to push these down and this comes off. But guess what? There's one more place that this can go. You can actually take this and put it on the dividers. Again, it grabs on the top, so I want you to see. It'll grab on the top like that. And now, again, I can have, again, if it works for someone, you can have tools in here. And this even comes out, by the way. So you can actually take it out, you know, etc. So they thought of a few things. Now, to use this accessory outside, you just have to put these on and screw these in with the Allen key, as you can see. But be aware, you will be blocking your handle. Now, your handle will work if you decide to remove the accessory. Now, the accessory snaps on. Again, it grabs from the back. So all you're going to do is go like that, lock that, and it is locked on. Pretty sturdy. Doesn't get in the way of the wheel, this specific accessory. It will block your handle when obviously you're using it. But when you're not, don't forget, you can take this off and then you can still use your handle. So I like that. So the last thing I wanted to show you, well, not really the last thing, we've got something else, is, you know, how you lift this if you wanted to lift it on the side. So you could use the bar if you need to. If this was too heavy and you needed 2 people to lift this up, you could use this bar. It doesn't really have a handle here, so you would use this bar. Now on PACKOUT, they actually did put some handles that kind of lock in place on both sides. So these are nice handles. They do go down, they hide away. So just wanted to show you that. Now let's go ahead and check out some tools in these boxes. I did want to do a quick demo with some tools. I've already packed up the Milwaukee, so I want to show you, and I really have had a lot of time with this box. And it does a great job with all of the 4 wheels under this. Obviously, the 2 back wheels give it stability as well, but honestly, I love it. I mean, it really works well. Now, let me show you some video real quick. We did a demonstration on gravel with our toolbox full, and I want you to see that real quick. So as you can see, it was no issue whatsoever to open and close on gravel, and I really like it. It works well. And as you know, this video is not sponsored, so I'm going to take out all of these tools and I'll show you what I put in the box. So I've got a lot of bits. First of all, I'll tell you, I'll take everything out, and then you can kind of see like what was in there. Some batteries. These are great, by the way. I love these. They are great. They're so helpful. The big boy. Oh, the heavy too. One more left. One more left. All right. Well, guys, we had all of that in this box. Is that cool? Now, can we fit all of this in the KLEIN? Let's try that. I'm going to start off with the bottom drawer, and I'm going to start off with this big guy, because if it can fit, great. If it can't, it can't. Let me see something. Just push that in. All right. Ooh, I got it. Okay, that's in. I think this might be a problem, though. But again, I could be wrong. It's always a matter of the angle and stuff. So, yeah, let's try that way. Let's try this way. I'm telling you, I am trying. I'm not giving up, but I don't know that. All right, so that's not going to work. That won't fit if I put that one tool in. So let's take that out. All right, again, everything else. I'm going to work on the top drawer for a moment. I think I can do this. I really do. I think I can do this. I was always good with shapes as a kid. I was always pretty good with shapes, you know, round, circle, stuff like that. So let's see. Okay. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got everything except that, the circular saw. So we got everything in. Not bad, not bad. All right, guys. Well, I sure hope our video helped you in some way. And if it did, do me a big favor and give us a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate that. And hey, if you could share our video with your friends and your family, that would be awesome. I'm going to put my social media channels right up top. If you want to follow us on social media, go right ahead and send us a message. Let us know that you did. And hey, check out our new Tesla channel. When you get a chance, just look us up at My Tesla Journey 1. And subscribe if you can. I'm going to put a video here on the right side of the screen where my finger is. If you have time, check that out. And if you want to subscribe to our channel here at Tech Made Easy, all you got to do is click this round Tech Made Easy logo right there. And you'll be able to subscribe on the spot and join the family. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.